How's it gaming, guys? I'm PhilInTheBlanks. Welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Order! 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 Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. Blah, blah. Ooh, the figure it out music. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. I like that picture, it's really cool. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. Excuse me. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in the story, there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. Exclamation mark. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife, besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? Of course, it's always a yes. If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Wright? In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. Where do we see a broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. See, I think it's the knife from this. But we're not seeing the knife on it because the knife part of it is gone. Can I present that? Would that count? If anything's broken here, it's you. Huh? I'm sure this must be all very amusing to you, Mr. Wright, but may I remind you? Yeah, we screwed up. Alright, this is the real... Oh, damn. Oh, phew, I thought I presented my attorney's badge. Oh, here's a picture of it. Oh, perfect. There we go. That might be it. Okay, phew, I was about to say, did I screw up again? The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the awards ceremony. Oh, whoops, that's Edgeworth. This is a picture of the awards ceremony. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order! 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 Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors Award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh! Well, shit. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Someone said, hold it! It's Emma! Wait! I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back? I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. How did you draw a picture of the Blue Badger, Emma? Ah, yes, the Blue Badger watches over us all. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget, I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Miss Skye? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. What? This is certainly most unusual. Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed, you made a typo there, Capcom, him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop, please, don't pursue this any further. We're actually seeing emotion from Lana. Lana? What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. We never get to meet the bailiff. It's such a shame. It seemed we're finally getting to the core of this matter. It's all about the blue badger. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another... I saw blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw a shadow. Let's press on that. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face, with its winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh? And I suppose you have an explanation. If so, then by all means, please tell us what the shadow really is. What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger? I just might know. The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt of when Emma drew this picture, yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on the fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright! In this room? Well, very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in this instant? Please show what this mysterious blue badger look like. So, this was one of those, like the, I forgot what it was the last time it was the video. This was one that I had a lot of trouble with when I first played this game. I'm pretty sure I had to look this up or just guess a bunch, so it sticks out in my mind really much. Really a lot. It is the jar, because if you tilt it, there we go. It makes the blue badger shape. That took me forever when I was younger, but there we go. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? I've got to show them the power of the DS, the correct angle to look at this from. And how to do this again? Oh crap! I'm like moving it the wrong way. Damn it! Oh, you can rotate it. Oh, okay. I should be using all the controls. Like that? Yeah, like kind of like this. How did I do this last time? Oh, there we go. So hard to do without the stylus. Yeah. Is that good enough? This isn't right. I've got to make it look like more like the badger. Allow me to remind the defense its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew, we cannot accept his claim. Matching shapes. This is a big boy game. Gotta find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more, or horizontally? Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do it. I've got to show them the correct angle. Okay. How do I... And then... This is difficult for me. Like... looks like it, right? Is that not close enough? That's like perfect. Come on. Oh, really? At least it's not taking any life from me, so it's not penalizing me. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna keep doing this to let you guys know when I friggin' solve it. There we go. Okay, I guess I was just off a little bit, but... Well, is this a miracle or what? Wow, yeah, that's... How do you figure this shit out, man? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. I hate that music so much. No, it can't be. It is B, Mr. Edgeworth, my friend. Order, order. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witness on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. Actually, it changes everything. Because, of course it does. It's this game. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed? Very well then. Please tell us, what's different now that now that we know the witness saw this jar? The murder weapon, the murderer. I guess it's the location, because it would have been where the jar would have been, and we know where the jar would have been because of this picture right there. Actually, no, shit. That is where it would have taken place. We know that. Ah, crap. Did I screw up? Allow me to take these in turn. Actually, maybe I got it right. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Excuse me, burp. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was... wrong voice. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Oh, okay. That's why it's the location. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. Exclamation mark. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? Nope. I finally figured it out. Really? So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. I mean, I know what it is, but... Do you? It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent this jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? Ooh, I think we get the point. Ah! The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. I thought was it a sword? I thought it was a spear for some reason. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright? What's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. That's quite the twist. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No, yeah, I can't blame her for yelling that out really loudly. Yeah, thud, fainted. Yeah, if I accidentally murdered someone and I didn't even know it and then I found out I did, oh my god, that'd be awful. Obviously. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. I don't know, unless Mia comes back and brings Jake That'd be so funny. Like, bring Maya back as just Neil Marshall in Maya's body. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. I guess that's good that Maya's not in this chapter, because it would have been way too easy to do that. Touché, Miss Skye. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. Oh god, that would hurt so much. I'm like wincing at it. I don't like thinking about that stuff, like knives in bodies, and just, it makes me wiggle around, you know? Like, He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, in one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. Well, I don't know. I'm not the one who mentioned it. It was Edgeworth who brought up the possibility. He should prove it. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that a victim may have left behind. It's in the evidence! This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister's a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Skye. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek, the truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased. This one's fairly obvious, because, I mean, it's, like, what else would it be, right? Like, this has writing on it, clearly. Someone was trying to do something with blood. This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten that this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line there, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away, but blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No. I don't know why I did that voice for her. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters, using the DS stylus. There's only one thing the victim would have written, given the circumstances. his murderer's name. So, it clearly spells Emma. Now, my question is on this type of stuff, because, like, the game is originally from Japan. Like, is this hard for a Japanese audience? Like, you have to spell, like, English words, basically. Like, to us, it's not a big deal, because you're seeing, like, letters that we use in our language. But, like, the Japanese, I guess they use these types of letters a lot, but, like, would this be difficult for them, I guess? I don't know. Does that make any sense to you guys? There's, not to spoil anything, but in the first case with Danganronpa, there's something along those lines. To English-speaking, I guess anyone that uses, letters, like the alphabet, it's easy enough, but for the Japanese, like, it was harder. Like, I don't know, when Japanese developers make these types of puzzles in these kind of games, does it make it, like, just really difficult for, like, Japanese, like, Asian audiences, because they use a different alphabet, like Japan, China, even Russia, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I always think of that. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Kind of a shame in his last dying breath, he's like, I'm gonna blame Emma. I know she was the one who did it, but it's like, dang. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Aw, poor Emma. Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Ack. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. I mean, not really. I mean, he still killed a lot of other people. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Cry. But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. Love how he plays with his hair. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know we aren't defenders of justice? What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. Oof, that's loud, rabble. What's going on in the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. I mean, everyone agrees he was a murderer, so not really, but how would he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order, 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 order! But there was no order to be had that day. I'm Morgan Freeman. I don't know. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. I'm PhilInTheBlanks. We'll see you guys next level. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this episode, click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to know when the next episode is up. If you want to support my channel, share some videos with some friends and consider supporting me on Patreon.